Welcome to the Three Dad Bods podcast. We're back and we're ready to entertain and put a smile on your face. Brent, Carl, and Sean are full of useless information. Just ask their kids. But we can't wait to share stories about the past and make your day a bit brighter. Now buckle in and put those earphones on and enjoy the ride. Three Dad Bods is back and about to begin.
Hey everybody, welcome to Three Dad Bods. This is with Brent, Carl, and Sean.
Howdy.
Hope you guys have been having a good week. I know
You've got more Carl
Sean
than
been out,
Brent
and-
and Sean, but we're all three here.
Oh, we're here. Whatever.
So
You barely made it, Sean. So from the dead. So that's fine.
so let me ask you guys a question. Since COVID, all right, my wife has asked me several times to go see a movie in the theater, and I have no want or desire to go to a theater. Like, am I the only one feeling this way? Like, or is this, I mean, I know like revenues are down for movies and stuff like that, but like, have you guys been out to any movies at all since COVID? Or like, I would rather watch it at home,
Hey, now, I if it's to get the popcorn, that'd be the only reason to go lately. So,
there is a superiority of theater popcorn over anything you can do at home, unless you're putting it over
There's something about it.
a stove and throwing lots of butter in it.
Castor oil all over it, man. Ooh, yum. All right.
Okay, there's definitely something about that. And now, like most movie theaters, you can get, like pizza and a hamburger
Oh, yeah.
and
yeah.
load up and all that, recliners. But I have no, like, my wife brings it up with me. I'm like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just old rubby gubby or whatever, but it's not
You
like
are.
when, but you remember when we were kids,
It was a big deal.
The one that I remember the most is Star Wars. When Star Wars first came out,
You were
and
6.
going,
You
Oh,
remember
Remember
that?
good?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
good. Yeah. No,
absolutely. I remember going to that theater in downtown Salt Lake, the one that had like the rocket ship on it,
Mm-hmm.
and
That was cool.
I have no recollection of a rocket ship theater, but I believe you.
you don't, man.
No.
It was like second. I don't know. It wasn't Century, and again, like I remember the Century movie. You remember the old Century theaters with like the big arena style and seats for miles, and you would go to a movie, even like E.T. or whatnot, and it was an event. It was all this build up and opening night, and you'd stand in line, and like you're talking about, you wait to get your popcorn that has 8 pounds of butter that's on it and stuff.
I don't know that it's a lot different now. I just think the theaters are not quite as big and a little bit different with stadium seating and all that.
I remember.
Top Gun came out. I think there was a lot of that same feeling, and some of the Star Wars movies as of late.
Oh, I don't know. I
don't know.
hated the Star Wars movie, the new one. They sucked.
I do
but
remember
here's
the
as a
thing,
little
though.
kid
Yeah.
to the theater when I was 7 to see Star Wars, and then dying for 2 years wanting to see the next one or even the original one over again, and you couldn't because they didn't have the streaming like they do now.
Or the action figures, like you grab all the action figures for it all.
I think
X-wing fighter.
I think the experience is much better now. I think the fact that you can sit in reclining chairs, that the food is much better, as Brent mentioned. You can order your tickets online. You don't have to stand in line. But then part of that loses some of the nostalgia. I mean, there was something to it. I mean, I don't know how long I waited in line for Return of the Jedi, but I sat out in a stupid line for hours with my sister and a couple others. I think Glenn was with me. I can't remember. But we sat out in a stupid line for 4 hours, and we got in. it was Century Theater, so we finally got in. Then the freaking film broke right in the middle of the first 25, 30 minutes. We had to wait another hour, but you know what? We didn't care. We were just excited to be there.
Well, I think some of that not caring is due to, you have a different attitude when you're that age versus you're an adult. And now you got things to do, people to talk to. I mean, there's a lot of difference between your time as a kid and your time as an adult.
Well, let me ask you a question, Sean. When movies became easier and a bigger deal before COVID, because Brent made a good point, since COVID, I have felt the same way. But before COVID, it was like the default date on Friday night with the wife when I was married. Let's go to a movie because it was easy to do. And there was always, always movies you could go to, always. And it got to a point, though, I think when I was a kid, I could remember on one hand, at least the first until I was about 15, how many movies until I had my own job, how many movies I actually went out with mom and dad or my friends to see. It wasn't a lot. I mean, Definitely. I'd go to the sticky shoe ones in Kearns. Remember those?
The ones you get the passes for in elementary school, like the Godzilla movies.
But you're afraid to get mugged at that one, right? So, but actually, it wasn't that bad back then. But
it was awesome, though, man. It was.
Fun. but for a real movie like Brent and you or Sean are talking about, I mean, to go downtown was a special treat. Like going to that Century. Well, it wasn't the Century. It was. I remember, Brent, what you're talking about was right down in the middle of town, right? Right.
Yeah. Right downtown.
That's where I saw Star Wars, the first one. Yeah.
And I don't think it was an actual rocket ship. It was like a big spiral that went up. But I as a kid, I always called it the rocket ship one because that's what it always looked like.
That's probably a good, accurate description. What building's there now? Do you even know? I can't remember. So.
Somebody that's listening is gonna remember the same thing and know what you're talking about, Brent. So
probably Marty.
Leave a comment on the page. We'll see.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Marty's got a good memory.
What it was, I can't remember.
Marty or Lorene? Hey, Lorene, you can remember. You tell us.
Yes, exactly.
So I think it's safe to say though that like. For us, for our age group, Star Wars was probably that first big owl movie. And
definitely,
I think largely because when it came out, there was nothing ever like Star Wars. I mean, I still get chills the way that movie began with just like the music and then the words, just floating through on the screen and all that, and I mean, there was nothing like stormtroopers and space, ships.
Out of nowhere, there's a spaceship shooting at another one with lasers, and lasers at the time was.
Were you guys upset when Luke found out that Vader was his father? I was ticked. I was upset.
No, I was a little bit more upset when I found out Luke had kissed his sister.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of icky.
Criminy, what is that? That is the weirdest.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I was going to say, did you guys go to the movie theaters ever? I mean, the outdoor theaters? My mom and dad used to take me to
drive-ins?
Those. Yeah.
I remember once when I was a kid with my parents, and then, definitely after I got my license and I could drive girls there.
Can you go to those anymore? Are there any available? Is there any left?
I think there's
I don't know if Redwood still is it?
I don't know.
Huh.
The Valley, wasn't it called Valley View? Down by
Valley View is no longer there. It's like apartments or something like that.
That's not there anymore. But
I remember friends that had a speaker. They lived like behind their backyard was Valley View, and they had their own speaker. We would always go hang out at their place. And
nice.
That was fun. Our old neighborhood was pretty cool. You had a golf course down the street, and you had a movie theater. Or a drive-in theater.
Down the street. Man. The other direction. Yeah.
So
funny.
have you noticed this? It's like my kids can't stand the first 3 Star Wars. To me, those are the best ones. You know, I'm like you were talking about, Carl. Like
when you say the first 3, are you talking about the ones that made
the ones we watched,
or the
yes, the ones we watched,
episode 4, 5, and 6. Yeah.
And so, like my kids are, I mean, they're not into it like we were, but you know, they prefer the later ones. But I think it's because now, I mean, how many movies have better special effects than those Star Wars movies have? You know, like it set the pace, and then everything went crazy, and hey, and everybody did that, and you know it. But for us, because it had never been done before, I think it was a lot more like, wow, you know, as instead of now where like my kids see it and they've seen 400 different movies that are probably better special effects in that movie.
All right, let me ask you a question. Have you ever watched a movie when you were a kid? Like I went and watched Clash of the Titans, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then I watched it the other day,
and you thought it was just terrible.
Horrible. It was just horrible. Everything was so bad in terms of the special effects, and the story was just dumb. And
yeah,
I'm just
you know why that is?
Wow.
Because you've evolved as a person.
Sure.
And you recognize crap when you see
We've
it.
seen other things too.
Yeah.
It just,
but
I mean,
like at that time, there wasn't things better than that. But now, you know.
That's true. Well, there are some movies that are really good. I mean, I've had to, you know, sit my boys down and make sure they see the quintessential best 80s movies, you know, that
which are okay. We got to get a list here now. It's time. It's a list.
Who wants to go first?
What are they for you?
Wait, hold on though. Are you saying only 80s, or are we throwing in some 70s stuff in here?
Well, we can do 70s and 80s. We're just when we were kids.
Oh,
okay, all right.
Pre-graduation. How's that?
Okay,
Brent,
all right.
go first.
Oh man, well,
just do your top 5. I don't know if.
Of course, the Star Wars has to be right up there, probably near number 1. I mean, if you're talking like big movies, or are we talking like big movies or movies that I enjoyed the most?
Just whatever you liked.
Whatever you liked the most. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so big movies. I would say Star Wars, E.T.
Okay.
Breakfast Club. And I will say that at the time, I know, I'm sorry I brought it up, but at the time I didn't like Breakfast Club when it came out, but now I think it's because kind of like, you know, we talk about nostalgia and stuff. It's that nostalgia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
the Naked Gun movies.
You like the Naked Guns? Yeah.
I love the Naked Gun movies when they came out. I never laughed so hard.
Yeah, but so now that's one of those things that Carl was just talking about. You go back and watch those now, and you're gonna go, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible."
I know. You know what? I can watch that first Naked Gun movie over and over and over again and still laugh like crazy. But I have a dumb sense of humor. So, and then 5. All right, here's one that you guys probably aren't thinking of. And this is my favorite movie of all time, honestly. And in 9th grade, we were asked to do a report on who our idol was. And I did it on this guy, The Untouchables, about Al Capone. My 9th grade report about my idol was Al Capone.
That was a good
the one with Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
It was with Sean Connery. Yes, Kevin Costner. Yes.
That was when you were in 9th grade?
Well, that movie came out before that. But my report in 9th grade was who was your idol, who you look up to the most in history, and I put Al Capone.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Oh, all right. Good deal. That was good. Okay. All right. I think I can go. Let's try it here. So in the 70s, this is, well, I mean, can we count TV shows too, or just movies?
No.
Okay. All right. No. All right. I won't count it. Okay.
Live by the rules, man. Quit trying to change.
I don't know. Well, and actually, I like the Star Wars movies like you guys, but I also like Raiders. I really love Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I'm not excited about the new one coming out. So, but
you know what? That first Raiders movie scared the crap out of me. when that face melted off, I had nightmares about that.
That's the one. Yeah, I agree.
That's funny. And you go back to it now and you watch it and you're like, oh my gosh,
It's
that's
terrible.
terrible.
It looks like
Terrible
melted chocolate,
special
you know.
effects.
Chocolate.
Yeah,
But that movie terrified me. That's a good one, though, Carl. I forgot about that one.
Star Wars, Raiders.
Oh, the best scary movie. Okay, so Glenn and I went to Valley View Drive-In when we were 16, and we were going to do the double feature. So we went and we hit The Fly 1, and then
Hey, that was
Aliens.
good.
I saw that at the Century.
After. We watched Aliens in a Flight on a 4-hour time span. It was crazy, but those movies were awesome.
That's all
That's
right.
with Jeff Goldblum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one with Jeff Goldblum was an awesome movie.
that was
Yeah.
creepy, man. Yeah.
I never got into the Alien movies. I'll be honest with you.
Well, and then the wildest choice, which some of you guys, this was right the weekend before I
Careful.
went on my mission.
Careful.
We went and watched Lethal Weapon 2. My parents took me to that one.
Oh, that was all right.
That's a good one.
That-
That's
Yeah,
a good
Lethal
one,
movies.
right?
Yeah, Lethal
Yeah.
Weapon movies were good.
Number 2.
Oh, and then Terminator, man. You guys forgot that. The Terminator series. That
we
was,
haven't. We didn't all
Oh,
forget
okay.
about it. I haven't gone yet.
Oh, okay. Well, those are, I guess, my 5. Oh, and then, okay, I'm going to throw in a bonus. Any John Hughes movies, Pretty in
Who?
Pink, Some Kind of
Oh,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were
Yeah,
pretty
16
good.
Candles.
16 Oh, yeah.
Anything with Molly Ringwald. Yeah.
All right, what
those
do you
were
got,
good.
Sean?
It's a consensus on number 1 with the Star Wars movies. You can't be a kid back then and not have seen those and not have been wowed by them. So, so I'd go with that. I'd go with Raiders, Terminator. You guys didn't mention this one, but Superman with Christopher Reeves. That was a big one.
Yes. Man, you're right. I remember that thing coming out. It was huge. It was enormous.
Massive. I watched that. I watched that in Cortez, Colorado, with the Tanners.
Really?
Yeah,
That was a good one. That was a very good one.
that was a great one. And then, I don't know. I'd have to go with the Pretty in Pink selection.
Pretty in
That was a pretty big one.
You like Molly
Yeah.
Ringwald, huh? All right.
I kind of had a thing for Molly Ringwald, like most teenage boys. Yeah.
I did not. I will be honest. I did not.
I hated Spader in that. And I hated Spader when he was on all those teen shows. And then when he was on the Blacklist and he's been on some stuff, these days, I'm like, he's a great actor. I really like that guy.
Yeah.
So,
He
Spader
is
was-
a great actor. I think I liked his earlier stuff better, but absolutely. Okay, so compare that with now, Brent.
Well, that's what I was going to
Oh.
ask, because I think consensus. We all kind of agree Star Wars is probably at the top 1 or top 2, if not the top, right?
Yeah,
During
without
that
question.
time. So since that time,
Mhm.
can you think of a movie or a series that's above that?
I think the 90s had some good movies.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yeah, for sure.
I love The Matrix. When the first Matrix came out, it was another one of them Star Wars moments where there was
Yep.
nothing like that
Yeah.
ever.
Inception was kind of the same way, I thought.
Yeah.
The Matrix blew my mind. It was like, the first time you saw it.
The
That was
first
probably-
Matrix, the second 2 or 3,
I
don't think they
The third one was
fell short.
terrible. Yeah, the third one was terrible, but the first one was spectacular.
Yeah,
First time you see that,
Groundbreaking.
it's like,
just
wow.
like you said.
Did you see the
Yeah.
one last year? Oh, it was so bad.
No,
It was.
I
It was
wanted
almost
to
unwatchable.
so bad because the first one was so amazing, but the nothing has I haven't even seen it because
again,
so many
you know
people said
why?
it was terrible.
Don't waste your
You
time.
know why? If that fourth one came out when the first one did, we'd all be talking about that fourth one because we'd never seen. Now we've seen it. Every movie does that now. You know,
It's like
You can't
watching
go
The
back.
Sixth Sense again. Like that. Remember The Sixth Sense the first time you saw it with Bruce Willis?
it was a trip.
Trip you out, and now you're just like, yeah, I know what happens at the end.
Ooh, I got to throw another one in there. I got to give a bonus one because I just this popped into my head. It was a little bit after we graduated high school, but JFK.
Oh,
Another Kevin Costner movie, and Dances with Wolves. That was right after high school.
Oh, Dance with Wolves was good. I just can't stand watching that show over and over.
It was a long movie.
Tatanka.
Tatanka.
Yep.
Oh, what was that guy? What did he scream at the end? Oh, made me cry though. It was the one dude that hated Kevin Costner character for
the
whole
at first,
movie, but
then loved
he's
him at
his
the
friend.
end.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, the native guy. I don't know what he said. Something about "I love you" and wish you would come back and start a family with me.
So since we're talking about a little more modern times, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love the Bourne movies, those series.
Oh,
I could watch any of those movies at any time.
Well, and I mean, you guys might not like this call, but I love MI 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't wait.
I do too. There has not been a bad MI movie.
Every single one has been great, and same with the Bourne movies. I haven't seen a single one of them that was bad. So, but those remind me.
My favorite Bourne movie.
Movies.
My favorite Bourne movie was not with Matt Damon, but the one that had the other guy, and they like intertwined between the two.
Yeah.
The remember that?
Jeremy
it was like,
Renner.
wow, man.
Jeremy Renner, right? Yeah, it was Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
He's a good actor.
I agree 100% on that one.
Oh, okay. So come on, you guys have to like Diesel and at least no, you don't like the.
I haven't seen one.
You haven't seen any of those?
I haven't seen a single Fast
and Furious.
Nope.
Fast and Furious. Okay, the first few were good. I mean, it's got ridiculous.
It's amped up Smokey and the Bandit. And look, I'm sorry, when you're throwing cars out of an airplane and they're bouncing on a road and blah, I understand imagination, but come on.
Right. Right.
Well, and then it's funny. We were watching. My son one day said, "Dad, what's the deal with Christmas movie Die Hard being called a Christmas movie?" And so we watched the first one, and they're like, "That's pretty good." And the guy that plays the bad guy,
I can't remember his real name. His full
Harry
name
Potter,
is Hans
right?
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then by the way, Harry Potter we should talk about a little bit. But but then we watched the second one, and they're like, "Boy, this is pretty bad, Dad." I'm like, yeah, the acting's horrible. And then it just progressively got worse in 3 and 4. So anyway, that's usually how those series go.
Hey, I can't believe we forgot this, but do you remember? I want you guys to think about like the ads coming out for this, and there had already been 2 that were already released, a 1 and a 2, but suddenly there's this villain with a mohawk named Mr. T. Cumberland.
Oh yeah.
The Rocky movies.
I can't believe we didn't talk about those.
I can't believe we forgot those. Yeah.
And he kills Apollo Creed. I mean, was that? Oh no, it was Drago that killed Apollo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I want to know. Okay, I want to know.
Is there a better revenge movie than the Rocky series movies?
You know what, Brent? I think I remember seeing Rocky 3 with you and Mark.
Yeah,
Matt.
Well, no, we all watched it. Gary took us to.
It was a church activity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a church activity.
What it was.
Yeah.
Oh my God! In fact, I'm just remembering this. Do you remember a church activity? It was actually I think it was at my house. Watching and we ended up watching like Tales of the Crypt.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And
we were all just kind of looking around like, should we be watching this?
Is that the one where he gets he burns his wife, gets burned on a rack for smoking cigarettes, or is that a different one? I remember that one.
The only thing I remember is the water where the guy was buried in the sand and the tide came in.
To the deck. Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy. How old were we?
I think we were like 14-ish.
Could
Oh,
you
yeah.
imagine letting your kid go watch that right now?
If I remember right, we were there with Bob Pugh, or I think that's his name. And he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, guys, we can't watch this." And we're like, "No, you gotta leave it on. No."
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he
no
went
wonder
through the
we
whole
turned
thing, just about ready to have an ulcer,
Oh man, no wonder our generation turned out so corrupt. Anyway,
No wonder we turned out so awesome.
that's true too. Anyway, that was cool.
Well,
Well,
I
hey, did
don't
you
think those
guys
things
like?
are exclusive of one another.
Well,
Both
the
awesome and crazy.
new Creed 3 show comes out this next week. How many of you
Yeah.
guys like that version of Rocky?
I liked the first
liked
one. I
it.
haven't seen the second two.
So I like the fighting part, but in the second one, they made it too like he marries this lady who's blind and she's doing this song. Like she's doing her music. Like, I don't care about her music. I just want to watch them fight. That's all I want to do. Just fight.
That's what
Get the
90%
disability
of what was
back.
great about the first three Rocky movies was the fighting.
It was.
Yeah.
He'd get beat down. He'd get tore to shreds. He was left with nothing, in scraps, nothing to go for. Someone kicks him in the butt. Come on, Rocky, you can do it. His wife is there. He trains, whether it's like on the beach for 14 hours a day or out in Siberia fighting a Russian. Like, it was great, and the best fight scenes.
The one I liked the most that no one really talks about a lot was Rocky Balboa, the one in between Creed and
Yeah, I
after
liked that.
Rocky
I
5.
thought it
Where
was
he made his
good.
comeback.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
show.
because his wife had died, and then
Yeah.
it was
He's
a
broke.
cool scene with his son where he really, kind of gives one of life's messages to him. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how many times you've getting hit. It matters, that how you fight and how you get up over and over and continue life. And then the part where he's sitting there talking to his wife and at the cemetery,
At the graveyard.
that kinda gets you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
No,
like,
I liked
wow.
it. It was good. It was good.
It's a great show. And he wrote all those.
He did, which is interesting
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he seems like he's dumb as a box of rocks. Sorry. But
Well, I
maybe
don't know
that's
if you
just the
guys have
character. I don't know.
heard about the original Rocky movie. I mean, people wanted to like change it. Like they wanted a script, but they wanted to change this and change that. And he's like, nope. And he ended up taking a whole lot less money to make
To get
it
it done.
exactly how he wrote it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
good for him, man. I mean, good for him.
I got a question.
Hey,
you guys
Carl.
ever see the Godfather series? Any of you?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Hey, Carl,
yeah.
real quick, before we jump on that, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
You've been to Philly. I've been to Philly. Have you been to the Rocky statue?
Oh yeah. I've been. Well, so I run up the steps at the art museum.
Yeah, everybody
for
does
the
that.
And the only time they take the Rocky statue, because it's at the Spectrum usually, the only time they move it to are during the films.
The
They'll
library
move it,
or the
Yeah.
museum. Yeah.
the
Yeah, because
museum.
it's not on the steps, right? That's what I remember.
Not
It wasn't
anymore,
there.
it isn't. I mean,
Yeah,
last time I
too.
was there a few years ago, they had moved it down in under the trees across the street from the steps.
They
Yeah,
put it there during like these releases, don't they? Isn't that when they move it back over?
Yeah, I have pictures, showing Rocky hit the statue hitting me in the face, and it's kind of cool. So it was fun. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt
Rocky-
you. I just had to ask.
No,
that's
Rocky
just one of
5 was
those
being
things-
filmed right when I was on my mission, so
Oh,
we
okay.
weren't. There were actually some missionaries that got in as extras on the
That's
street.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
No, it's not.
You be quiet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do stuff that puts a little life in you, because man, those.
You know what's funny though? Watching Rocky 2, that's pretty good because they go down all the major streets because he's in the ambulance. It was a long ambulance ride, which was ridiculous. But if you watch it, he goes right by the Penn statue, which used to be the tallest building in Philly. Now there's tons of tall buildings, but
Yeah.
You're talking about the City Hall,
yeah.
the one on City Hall.
That's the one that has the William Penn or whatever on top, right? The statue.
Yeah, that's City Hall.
Yeah.
You know where they have the gym. That's by Kensington Avenue. It's the worst drug corner now in the whole nation. It is just hell there right now. Yeah. So yeah, you do not want to go there. So no visiting that location in the show, yeah, if you're smart. But yeah, Philly's an interesting town. We'll have to talk some other time about Philly and traveling and
definitely
that kind of thing, right, Sean? Because you've been to a lot of places too.
Yeah,
so
it's fun. So I'm father. Which are amazing.
Oh, Godfather! Oh my goodness! Yeah,
I
didn't watch those
Godfathers are fantastic, but they're the first. And I don't know if you've seen like the original Godfather. It's like 5 hours long.
It is. Yeah,
it's forever and a day. But 1 and 2, and you know what? I mentioned Star Wars and all that. Now that you brought up the Godfather, I think 1 and 2 are probably my all-time favorite movies.
They're excellent shows. They're Americana.
They're amazing, amazingly done, and creepy. I mean,
I think if you talk to people in Jersey, they may not like it as much because they have some pride in it, but then they also go, well, there's a lot of stereotypes that come from those movies about Italians.
Some of those stereotypes
are pretty accurate from what I understand. It was pretty accurate. Some great names in those movies too, man. Oh my goodness.
Oh, just amazing. What was your favorite part of Godfather 1? I think number 2 was the better of the two. But what was your favorite part in number 1, both of you?
Oh, when Michael kills his brother because of his betrayal, and then how he wraps up.
That was the second one, wasn't that?
Yeah, that was the second. Oh, you're talking the first one?
Yeah, just the first one.
All right. Geez.
In the clean house, when he cleans house, and they're christening his daughter.
Yep.
And in the background, they're just cleaning up the whole city.
Yep. At the end. Yep. That was really good.
Yeah.
I liked
the horse head.
The horse head was good. That was an iconic moment. I don't know why, but I really liked the part where I can't remember his name, but something about he swims with fishes. He's in the bar, and the guy comes up behind him and gets him with the piano wire.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know why, but that just. Woof.
The other thing I liked was the theme of the movie was how Michael was really trying to be a good guy.
Yeah,
he was a military man.
Yeah,
he's a military guy. Came back from the military.
And how that life. And
his dad didn't want him in it either.
Right. He was supposed to be a senator.
Yeah. Well, Sonny got killed.
Yep.
Yeah, and it sucked him back in every time. Just sucked him back into the business. Yeah. So it makes you kind of empathetic to the fact that, even though he's a bad guy, you kind of realize that, hey, maybe on the right circumstances, I could be a criminal too, just like that, because of how I grew up, or how my family was.
Yeah. Some of the decisions that you might have felt pressured to make.
Well, the scene in the restaurant, where he goes into the bathroom and he kills that guy. That he comes back out and just shoots him point blank in
that was a bad choice.
In a restaurant. He really didn't want to do that, but he did.
He had to.
He didn't have a choice.
Yeah, for power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, it was a good show. I loved it.
And not to follow, further down the line and stuff, and not a movie, but The Sopranos followed right in line there. I don't think I ever missed an episode of The Sopranos.
I never watched that. So,
oh my goodness.
Carl, there's your binge watch right there, buddy.
Okay, that's my assignment, huh?
That's your homework assignment.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a can't miss right there, man.
Well, everybody likes Scarface, and I didn't watch that, but
it was okay.
I haven't seen that one, but I loved Casino.
Yeah.
Casino was pretty good. Well, the one that
Goodfellas, all those movies. I thought those are fantastic.
Yeah.
the best Pacino though, and what's the guy that played in Godfather 2 with
De Niro?
De Niro was The Heat. Oh man.
Oh,
That was crazy movie. The first time I saw that, I could not believe that scene in the bank when Val Kilmer and Pacino or De Niro and those other two come walking out of the bank. And anyway,
I don't remember that movie.
That was pretty intense. There were some copycats too in the country. Remember, there were some banks that were hit where these two knuckleheads decided to wear body armor and take on the police in California. They got killed, but
Well, that's what led to police officers being armed with AR-15s, because before that, all they had were pistols.
Yeah, that was a pretty intense movie. I know. I remember the. Okay, here's a good question. Did you ever watch a movie that like shook you up, where you thought about it for maybe even days? I'll tell you mine, and then you guys tell me yours. Schindler's List.
Oh,
That, holy cow, that was
Yeah.
that just knocked me out. That was crazy, intense, and thought provoking. I thought about it for a long time.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
How about The Last Naked Gun, where they're walking out of that movie laughing? They're like in love and they're laughing coming out of that movie. Sorry.
Way to break that. Thanks, Brett. That was good.
Carl brings
I
up
know.
Schindler's
Sorry.
List, and then Brett goes to Naked Gun.
I only got into that first one. I never got into the other ones. They were kind of they were way crazy. I think I saw it. We can't really go into too many details on the Naked Gun.
All right, so the one that did there's actually two. I got to be honest. And first one is Always. Because because like he dies, the plane crashes, and like I just remember it's the only movie I've been to in person where I was bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, I can't be crying like this, so that
was a good movie. I agree with you, Brett.
The other one, and this is only strictly because I had kids, but When a Man Loves a Woman.
Okay.
I remember like Tracy was at work and I was at home and I was watching, it's like on Hallmark or something like that, Lifetime or something. And I'm bawling my eyes out. And she's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, they're not even his daughters and he's just taking care of them. And it's like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Brent, you're so sensitive.
I know.
Dude.
I've become so sensitive, especially anything with daughters. I'm extremely sensitive. It kills me.
Anytime I need to get you to cry, I just need to say, Harry, when a man loves a woman, he'll start bawling.
Man, I'll break it down. She's like, you can never, ever watch Hallmark again when I'm not here.
Good for Tracy. Sean, what's your thought-provoking movie? And it can't be Naked Gun last, whatever it was Brett said.
Thought-provoking.
Yeah. Something that made you more intelligent.
JFK.
Okay.
I just thought that was mind-bending. The idea that the government could do something naughty.
Well, it was all he just made that up, right?
Yeah, no, I know that JFK, the movie, is not, but it's just one of those things where I guess it opened my eyes a little bit. Like, the government might not be as altruistic as I once thought.
Well, Sean, you brought up a good future topic. We need to have a three-way debate about conspiracy theories, because I remember Brent and I back in 2003 or 4, we were on the phone and we were just arguing back and forth about 9/11. So that could be a really entertaining podcast. But
science. So back to like mind-blowing movies, and I apologize, I can't remember the name, but it's got Matthew McConaughey where he goes out into space, and it's
Interstellar.
like
Interstellar.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
How about
one.
when they go down to that planet?
Yeah, that's kind of creepy. Well, Matt Damon.
And they're
they
there
come
for
back
like
30
10
years
minutes, but it
later.
ends up being like 35 years, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Well,
trippy.
I mean, there have been some great movies that have come out since. I think, and this is kind of. I know we're getting close to the end here, but I think the only complaint I've got lately is there's too many of these superhero movies, and I mean, I'm kind of cringing of going to Ant-Man 3 because it's
I
going to
didn't like
take.
the first one.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same old story. And
Yeah.
then how many different ways can they think of, to create? I don't know. Were you guys into comics? I mean, I was into a few, but not.
Yeah.
It wasn't my
wasn't.
life though.
I
Yeah.
wasn't. I loved Fantastic Four. I had a box of Fantastic Four comics. So
I had
Okay.
friends, so I didn't really get into comics.
shut up.
I'm
You
kidding.
know, what's your
friends.
favorite Marvel? What's your favorite Marvel movie? And then one of the I'll just go Batman, the one with the Dark Knight series. Those three, and then I did like the Avengers movies themselves, not all the other movies around them, but the Avenger movies.
So are you doing your top 5 of more recent movies here? We should
Well,
get through those.
Oh, should we do
real
that?
quick.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, me. Okay, I wasn't ready. I was expecting you guys to go. Let's see. Well, my favorite comedy of all time is a recent, well, somewhat recent, but it would be "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Love that movie.
Okay.
I
That's
can
a good
watch
one.
that movie over and over and never get tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shawshank.
Oh, yeah.
Shawshank's good.
Shawshank's
a good one.
excellent. Yeah.
The trilogy for the Lord of the Rings.
Okay. What about The Hobbit?
Yeah.
Hobbit. I liked the Hobbit. Not as I don't think it was done as well because they stretched it. They had to really stretch that one.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I still like them. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you.
Okay. Shawshank's my all-time favorite movie. You're
It's a
gonna,
good show.
you guys are gonna laugh at me, but League of Their Own. I like that movie. I do. I like the
Never
music.
seen it.
I knew I was gonna get a grumble there. I like the Matrix movies. I mean, well,
Yep.
the first two. I mean, the third one was okay, but it wasn't good. The fourth one is horrible. Okay. No one mentioned Maverick, but I really like Maverick.
I was actually going to put that one as my top one.
I liked Maverick.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
and then,
When we were kids, I thought I liked Iron Eagle better than I liked Top Gun.
can you
What's
guys hear
that?
me? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was my phone.
Now we'll have to
Someone else
edit
go.
that out.
Yeah.
I love
okay,
Maverick.
so-
It's
Oh,
So, Brent-
you know what? Okay, this movie's kind of off the wall, but I really love this movie. It's about the firefighters.
Backdraft?
What's that?
Backdraft.
No, it was the one about the forest fighters forest hotshot crew down in
Down in
Arizona. Only the Brave, or oh my gosh, talk about a movie that really gets you at the end when he walks into the room where all the firefighters who had died, all their wives were in that room, and he was the only survivor, and it just chokes you up. You're just like, holy crap. And
I haven't seen it.
that's a real story.
There
that happened down
there were no survivors.
No, there was one, and you can look it up, dude. He's real. He's alive to this day. There was one. What happened was he wasn't with the group at that point. He had been split off and told to kind of read the wind signs, and the rest of the group had gone behind this hill, and they were heading towards this group of cabins, and then the fire just went crazy and caught them as they were heading down, and then they had to scramble and get under their little, Reynolds wrap tarps, but it didn't help them. So, I can't remember the exact title, but it was a great movie. Good soundtrack and real story. So anyway, very good.
Cool.
It was the same guy that was in. He plays the same guy that plays in Maverick as Goose's son. He was in. Yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
Cool. We'll have to check that out.
Anyway, that's one I'd recommend. But
did we go over Brent's?
Nope.
No. Okay.
So I may be a Keanu Reeves fan, but I think probably my all-time favorite series, and especially the very first one, is John Wick.
Oh, God.
Love John Wick.
Kind of violent, but yeah.
Yes.
I mean, a little ridiculous.
He shoots everybody in the head.
Well, they killed his darn dog, man. I mean, come on.
A best revenge movie, you call him when you want the boogeyman dead, he's the guy you call.
There's two big rules in life. Don't mess with my dog and don't mess with my girl.
Yes. I love those movies. Second is probably the first Matrix. Third, okay. I love Maverick. I mean, it was one of them. Wow, this is an amazing movie.
I thought you were going to say Bill and Ted.
Oh no!
With the Keanu
No. But oh man, you just brought that in there, and now it just eliminated one of the movies I was thinking of. That was awesome. I can't think of it anyway.
Any of you guys like Harry Potter series? I mean,
I'm not okay on it.
Yeah, they're okay.
Okay. I like watching it.
I had kids that were of age, to like them, and so I did.
Oh yeah. Now I remember. I remember my fourth, Troy.
Oh yeah, Troy was great.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. That first scene.
Oh, shut up.
Where they're looking for him and he comes out and the guy's waiting there to fight and he just comes on out there, runs right up, stabs the guy right in the shoulder, game over. A great movie.
That's the first scene. Okay. All right. There we go.
After that one. I have to keep it PG-13.
It was a pretty good show. Yeah, it was. I agree. So, well, awesome. That was a good night tonight, guys. And
thanks for the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
So, and guys, listen, if you're listening, give us a list of your, top 5 movies. We want to hear what you guys think, and if any of those are just crap that we laid out there, let us know, man.
Did we forget anything? Is there any obvious ones that we missed?
I don't think so. I mean,
we'll have people tell us what did we miss that should have been on the list.
Okay,
sounds good, guys.
And with that, I think we can bid you all adieu.
Thanks for listening to the 3 Dad Bods podcast. Let your friends know we're on Spotify and Apple. And don't miss an episode. Rock on.